Hi, friend. We have a different view today, just for a moment. There's a very big snowstorm happening out there. And from my desk, which is where I am standing now from my craft desk, I get to watch that snow fly as we create this morning. Hi, it's Carrie from Created Me Creative, and welcome to my cozy little corner. Okay, so while the snow flies, we are going to create. This is Botanical Bliss, and I have the signatures ready and a cover, and I have chosen to use this fabric. I think I've got one of those pieces of inspiration paper there, and I think it's just going to look so nice together. I'm doing a floating spine, and I've never actually, usually I sew my spine, even if I put it on cardboard, I usually glue the cardboard right in here. But this one I'm only going to attach across with the fabric to here. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. So I want to use this fabric instead of covering the inside panels with paper or leaving them white. I wanted to cover it with this fabric. And so I'm thinking I may just glue it all the way across and then use a complementary fabric, maybe this one, for on top of the spine where we sew it in and then put it down, and then we'd have the green peeking out on the edges. What do you think of that? I wish I could hear your responses. I hope I'm doing the right thing here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I really do love this floral fabric, and I really think that it just kind of, it's got a bit of a, well, it's definitely got a botanical feel with all the greenery on it, and the colors are stunning. And yeah, so I think I'm going to start there. I think I'm going to start by putting that fabric down. But before I do that, I'm just going to use a little bit of tape, and hopefully this isn't too loud. Hold on. Just in the center. Let me grab my scissors. So we are in the throes of a winter storm, and it started last night, well, yesterday late afternoon, I guess, and it has not stopped. It certainly is making me feel good about getting away next week. So I'm still taping ahead. So this video will go out on the 22nd. Right now it is the 15th. So I am hoping that I will be able to get a couple more videos filmed before I go away. I thought I actually had a ton of time. Interestingly enough, I have been called to, attending a youth retreat next week. And that youth retreat is way up north, like 4.5 hours north of where I am. And yeah, it wasn't something I planned, but when God speaks, as my pastor would say, when God speaks, the answer is always yes. So I am going to sing on their worship team and hang out with some youth. And I don't know what God's got in store, but it's going to be mighty. And if anybody is interested in hearing about that weekend once I return from my vacation, let me know. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And so, okay. Anyway, that is happening. I'm just going to spread some Fabri-Tac here. Let me grab my silicone brush so we can smooth it out a bit. And yeah, so that is happening next week on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Saturday, we leave. Get that out of the way there, Carrie. We leave on vacation. So I thought for sure, like next week I had a low workload and I was going to go and get my hair done and a manicure and pedicure, all the things that you do before you go off on a vacation. And, well, God had different plans. So we are rearranging things, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So, like I said, I will try. I still have this weekend where I am free with not too much on the agenda as of yet. So I am going to try and get a few more videos filmed before I go. And if not, well, I will be back after my vacation. So, okay, I'm just going to line that up there. I've cut it to size. We're going to smooth it out. I just really thought it would be nice to have a fabric inside the cover instead of paper. And then I'm going to see if I can get that straight. There we go. And then I'm going to sew the signatures. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing, but then I'll do it off camera and come back, and then I'll show you how I'm putting it in. Hopefully by then I will have figured it out. We're gonna learn this together, and that's half the fun of this. Half the fun of doing these things is just kind of learning. It's creating. It's exploring what we. Now I didn't put any extra support in that spine because I really think just the tape, excuse me, and then the fabric and the piece that I sew the signatures onto will be enough. Oh, let me spread that out. I don't want it to be too gooby. That's better. That's much better. Okay. Gotta make sure I'm getting it straight. It seems to want to slide down. I don't want it to slide down. There we go. I'm just gonna work that into the bend there. Got some extra glue. All righty. And then this last piece, I think it's gonna stretch out a little bit. I'm gonna cut it just a smidge long, I think. And then I can always fray it back. Oh, there we go. Strings everywhere. Okay, and let's do this piece. It's gonna be so pretty. Oh, that's pretty. That was pretty good guess on the length there. I think I can just finagle that in, actually. I'm gonna cut that little piece off. There we go. All right. All right, so that's the inside cover. I am going to, I've still got pieces hanging off. I'm going to trim them after I get it into the journal because I haven't decided whether I'm folding them back or tearing them. And then a day or two ago, I was tea dyeing paper, and I did the lace, the paper doilies. So, and now I have this huge stack of goodies. Some of these came out so interesting with the way the tea dyed them, and some little, and then there's some that are just really plain, and the papers too. Some of the patterns, because I layered them when I did it, so some of the patterns kind of came through, and then others are just super dark, like that one there. You can actually see the doily piece in it, and then some lighter ones. So those are going to be fun to add to journals. Okay, let me get the spine piece ready, and then I will come back and I will sew in one signature with you, and then we'll go from there. All right, give me 2 seconds. Okay, well, in true Carrie fashion, I used a little too much glue, so I've just grabbed a normal eraser, and I've just been kind of working. I thought I'd share this. I'm probably jiggling my camera. But just using the eraser to pull back some of that extra glue, so it's not tacky anymore. So I've managed that. Now I have this beautiful little pile here. So, but from there, now that it's not sticky anymore, I'm going to mark the holes for the 5 signatures on this side, and then I will be right back. But I just wanted to share that little tip with you. I know there's actual glue erasers out there, but I don't have one, and a regular eraser seems to work just fine. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I have got holes in this piece of fabric here that's been attached to the cardboard. This one's a little thinner than the one that I used on Little Grace, and I think it's going to be perfectly fine because I need the spine to be just a little bit more flexible. I have punched holes in our signature here, and for the purpose of the camera, I'm going to clip these together. I just want to make sure that I've got everything where I want it. So, and I am actually going to start on the spine from the back side. So let me see. If this is the top, then I'm coming in on this set of holes from the back, because then we can hide all of our stitching. It's one of the beautiful things about a hidden spine is you don't have to worry about the stitching. So, and I did say I was going to clip this, so I should probably clip this. Let's get that one there, and this one down here. And then we're going to go through the middle Okay, sorry, I had to redo that because my my doily slipped, so I think, there we go. Okay, so through the middle, and then out the top. I'm using a shorter needle than I usually do, and it's driving me nuts. Okay, and then through the top of the spine. And then through the bottom. Don't lose your thread. And then through the bottom of the signature. Okay, there we go. And then I need a little bit more thread. So I'll pull that this way a bit. And then I can pull it this way a bit. And we're gonna go back through the middle and outside. Just like that. Huh. Well, that wasn't very good. My needle just busted. Guess I wasn't supposed to use the short needle. All right, it's pretty much through. I'm just gonna grab my needle and those pliers and pull it through. And then we'll get a new needle. There we go. In bits and pieces. I've never had that happen before. Don't you just love that when it happens on camera? All right. I got a bunch of needle pieces to throw out. Let me see if I have another needle here. Let's go with the long one this time. All right, here we go. Try again. Done. Do not break on me. I just went through the thread. I can see it, but I can fix that from this side. Okay. And I do not need all of that thread. Pull that back down that way. Pull this way. Then I can pull this way. It was, there we go, let go all on its own. And that is it. And we'll cut this. And now I have a nice long needle. Just gonna go look at the other side and make sure it's tight. Looks good. And the nice thing about doing a hidden spine as well is all of these knots get hidden. So I am not too concerned about how they look because all of that is going to get glued into the spine of the book, right into here. You won't even see it. So it can be a little more finicky when you're putting it together, but yeah. And then we'll just work these pages in, and then I will work in or sew in the other 4 signatures, and then I will come back and we will pop this baby into its book cover. All right, I'll be right back again. All right, we've got the last signature to do. They have actually gone in fairly easily after breaking the needle with the first one. And now that I've said that, Murphy's Law, right? Let's get this final It's the last signature going in. It's the first signature of the book. So there we go, in the middle. Out the top. I've got you really zoomed in, don't I? Let's pull you back. Come on. All the way to the bottom. And in. And get that tail to come with me. There we go. And then out through the middle and into the middle here in the spine. Out it goes. Sorry. My camera's a lot lower than it usually is. And I keep bumping into it. All right, and we don't need that much string, so we're gonna pull from the bottom and make it shorter. And then pull from the middle to the top. Double check and make sure that we're good in the middle. Yep. And then we're gonna tie it off. Get rid of that extra. And there she is. All in. So now we just have to get her into the book. And she will go in just like that. I'll glue on both sides. But I think what I'm going to do first is, because I'm not going to glue this down, I'm actually going to put another piece of fabric along the back, just so that if you look in, because it's gonna, you know, when a book block is in a book and there's that space, that gap down, that's what this is going to be. So I don't want to see these when you open it, you know, when you're looking down the center there. So I'm actually going to put a piece of just either the plain linen, maybe this piece. I could probably do that piece along the back side. Let's open it to the center here and just turn it this way so we can see what we're doing. I could probably just, oh, just a smidge short. That's too bad. Oh, but what if that way? What if I put this here as well? And then it will cover, will allow that fabric to be long enough. You see what I'm doing? Let me switch this around. If I put that like that, then we'll have this tiny little bit. It'd be easier if we were on that cover. If I put that there, then we'll have that little piece popping up above the page. And above the book spine. It'll be like that. And that'll be so pretty. I'm going to do that. That's what we're going to do. Okay. All right, let's glue that on first. Now what I want to do is just tuck these strings under. And that'll just keep it nice and neat while we put the glue on. Now I'm going to stay in the middles, and then I can go back underneath afterwards. We don't want it to be bleeding out all over top of that green fabric. So I'll just get some glue in there. I'm not going to worry about too much about making sure that this is smooth. Again, we're not going to see this. Okay, we'll get that little piece down. And then we will cut. I wonder if I want it to be the width of the green material. I think I do. So let me get my fabric scissors because they actually work better than these tiny little ones. Let's make this nice and straight. Okay. And we're going to cut 2 pieces the width of that green fabric. So there's 1. And there is 2. And then we'll just bring, just gonna get a piece of acetate to go underneath there so that we don't end up with glue on our papers. And we're going to come across just the green fabric. And I want to make sure that the beads, see this has got a bead on it? Cute little, I want those on the outside. So we're gonna do that. And that's pretty good. It's a little bit shy, but I don't think that's gonna be noticed, honestly. And now we'll swing it around. I'm gonna leave that there, see if I have another piece, and do the other side. All right, I'm gonna give that a little bit of time to dry, and then we will flip it over and glue it into our book. Yay! It's still snowing, so it's been, oh my goodness, let's see the time. It's been snowing for almost 20 hours now. It's, yeah, like unbelievable. There is a ton out there. And my hubby shoveled out this morning before he headed to work. And I may have to shovel myself out in the next half hour before I head out to run some errands. Yeah, I probably should take a boo at that and see, because then that means I have less time here. So, okay. I'm gonna slide those out. And then we are going to flip this over. All right. Make sure I have the front of the book. Not that it matters, because I'm probably going to do some stuff on the front anyway. But, all right. The first thing I want to do is just trim up this edge right here. This one's just a little long, and I don't want it to go past the fabric. So we'll cut that. This side's good. This side just needs a smidge off. And this side just needs a smidge off. All right, get rid of those little bits. So now when we put that in, it's gonna have that little pretty fringe. Now from the back side, I could have put it on the opposite way so that the beads showed on the outside, but I didn't, and I still think that that's going to be okay, because then when she opens the book, she'll see the beads, and that's very, very pretty. Okay, so what we're going to do is, again, I have not done a floating spine before, so I'm winging it here. I'm going to glue this down with my Barely Art glue, just so it sticks a little bit. Just on the edge. Just to tack it down so it doesn't get in the way. Like that. And I'll do it on the other side as well. So let's make sure we're going the right way again. All right. So what I want to do is make sure that she's centered. And I am going to put glue. Make sure you can see this. I'm going to put glue down the edge. You can see the divot here where the spine bends. I'm going to feel very discombobulated. I've got tools everywhere. I'm going to put glue down that edge there. Hold your breath, because I've never done this before. And then I'm going to come out about an inch, and then if there's any extra, I can glue after it's down. So make sure that I've got enough glue here. And I want the edge of that cardboard to go where that bend is. See if I can feel that. Yeah, right there. Make sure it's straight. I'm just feeling to make sure that the cardboard is at the edge where the bend is. And this fabric is down. I do need a little bit more, but it's not too bad. Okay. And then we will go to the other side. And we're not gluing this to here. We're only gluing the green piece. This is just decorative. And I'm right up against the edge. It works. It's doing really good. Ooh. I love it when a plan comes together. Like I said, that's, you know, I've always wanted to do a floating spine. And I can't give you a tutorial for anyone because I really haven't watched it. I just decided this is what I was doing. All right, so now we have to try and get that to feel so it fits along this side. And if I measure correctly, all right, that feels about right. I'll go back and make sure it's right on this side because it may have moved. Oh, I think we're good. All right, let me get a clamp around these papers. There we go. And I just want to see, can you see that? See how it's got the floating spine like it was original book? It's not glued down there, so it'll have plenty of movement. That was my goal. And I think it worked. Oh, that makes me so happy. Yay. Of course, I have way too much glue again. I might have to get my eraser out, but oh my goodness. Oh, that makes me happy. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Woohoo. Wow. Okay. Well, that was a ton of fun. So we have just learned this together. I'm just wiping the extra glue off. I'm going to get my little eraser and wherever I put it and erase some of that glue off. But, oh, my goodness, yes. And look how pretty those fabrics look together. They're so beautiful. And I love this little lace detail with the beads. And I will probably use that on page edges. Yeah, oh my goodness. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna go out and shovel my driveway now and head off to get my hair did. And yeah, and then I will be back. I think, I don't know what I'm doing next on this. Honestly, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to take a look. Okay, so I'm not sure where that left off. I got a phone call in while I was saying our goodbyes, and they canceled my hair appointment, or rescheduled it. So hopefully I can get there tomorrow morning. If the snow keeps coming down, I'm not sure I'm going anywhere, but we'll see. Anyway, I don't have to go out and shovel the driveway now, so that's fantastic because I can just stay in my cozy little corner and keep playing. But for today, that will be it. And we've got the spine here. She's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So that's it for now. We'll chat soon. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.